All right, there we go. Welcome back, everybody, for another episode of the South Star Classroom. Somebody got they speaker on. There we go. Uh, that was our good friend Ju, but she is back in the bottom. We got her coming back in. That's David. David, can you bring up Ju for me while I get this fixed? And how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, doing well. Glad to be here. Looking forward to that. I did not do my research for the show, so I am coming
Perfect.
in
You're the
as
straight
the
man.
lay person on the street.
Yes, you are the straight man. And you know what? I did a whole show on this earlier in a Substack, so I got a whole intro that I'll just you know, so I'll read that and get you up to speed, man. You're good. How you doing, Jude?
I'm doing marvelously. I'm happy to be here. I am happy to be here. I did watch Coming to America over Thanksgiving break with my family. Oh, you had to be there because all of us were saying all the lines and laughing at the same time. And there was nothing like hearing your family sing, "She's Your Queen to Be."
I mean, it's one of those movies, man. It's one of those movies. And I know you're the check-in queen, so go ahead and check in. I'll let David check in. I'm going to let all this happen. I mean,
wow, what a gift. What a phenomenal gift.
Hey, man, I'm here.
Listen, I'm great. I put up the Christmas tree the day after Thanksgiving. Now, whether or not it's going to be decorated before Christmas is another story, but who's counting? We don't care. It's up. But I'm happy. I am going to be heading to see my family next weekend for the holidays, and I'm really excited about that. So all as well as cold. It's extremely cold, and okay. I got a cold. So amen.
There we go.
All right.
That's what's up. I love. How about you, Dave? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I just got home from a little neighborhood walk, and it's not cold here. I'm checking right now. The current temperature is 81 degrees.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, nothing says like the holidays like 80-degree weather, you know. But yeah, it's hot. And I'm sweating right now. That's what I'm doing. I just got out of the shower.
And wait, yeah. Where exactly are you again?
San Diego.
San Diego. My God.
Yeah, come visit. And she's gone. She rage quit. Okay.
She said, "Screw you." Rage quit. Your weather. When she comes back, I'm gonna say, "You the one that we want people to check in." You feel me? Yeah. Like, you know, nah, she's fine. Just let her back in for me when she comes. Okay. But she's familiar with the topic, so I'm gonna go ahead and get us started.
And then we had a okay, she's back. She's back.
I don't know what happened.
We said you rage quit.
You rage quit. Mad. You were just like, F your weather.
She mad.
Screw you.
I suppose that's possible.
We had last Friday night, I think we had our we didn't have the instrumental music program at my son's school had the winter concert, and it was really cool. We packed the theater at the school. They have a very nice theater, and the kids played for like over an hour. You know, it was a whole program, and it was jazz band played, the full orchestra, the indoor band, and they were all wearing like very formal kind of, you know, clothes and tuxedos, and the girls were wearing dresses, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful, man. These young people come together, they practice for hours and hours and hours outside of the regular school hours nice. to learn these parts. And it was just an hour of like creativity and a demonstration of like hard work and focus. and just some beautiful music. So that's
nice,
where I'm
man.
coming in off of. Yeah.
That's nice. I had 2 snowstorms, and it's about to rain right now. It's fine though. It's cool. Might snow a few days later, but it looks nice. It's great. And I'm a homeowner. I have a snow plow. Like this is how I know I'm getting old, because I love that thing. It's just great. It just does what it needs to do. It throws the snow like 15 feet in the air. It's great fun. It's just got to be cold a little bit, but it's fine. You dress for it. So let me give people today's rundown. Okay, we talking about the quarter zip movement today, and many of you, like David, would be like, "What the hell is the quarter zip movement?" Well, it has taken the country by storm. I'm gonna read an intro that I have for another show, but I'm gonna tailor it to this show. All right. So our topic today has me feeling some kind of way, which I've been very open about. We're talking about the quarter zip movement, and just for the record, as I do this, I'm gonna do it the way that I do on the other show, meaning I'm not gonna edit it. Me saying I'm not gonna edit it will make sense in about 2 minutes. All right, David?
Okay.
Got you. We're talking about the quarter zip movement. Young black men traded in their Nike Techs and Pooh Shiesties for business casual, their coffee for matcha, their YN identity for something they're calling young gentlemen. David, I'm sure you probably don't know. Do you know what YN means?
Yes.
Got you. For the crowd out there, I will tell you what YN means in a second. But to understand why this matters, we need to talk about what a YN actually is. These teenagers are calling themselves young niggas. And I have complicated feelings about how adults are responding to this. So here are the facts. On November about 3rd or something, last month, 21-year-old Jason Giamfi from the Bronx, not far from Jubilee's people, not quite her, but not far from her people, posted a TikTok video that would spark a cultural phenomenon. In the video, which has now been viewed over 1.5 million times, Giamfi declared, "I am a quarter zip dude now. I don't do that Nike Tech stuff that y'all little boys do. I'm feeling a little performative today. I might even get a matcha." His friends added, "We don't do Nike Tech. We don't do coffee. It's straight quarter zips and matchas around here." And within weeks, the trend exploded across social media platforms. The hashtag quarter zip has generated over 50 million views on TikTok.
Wow.
Young black men across the country began documenting their style transformations, trading athletic streetwear for business casual pullovers. The movement has sparked real world gatherings. In Chicago on December 8th, dozens of young black men met at Sean Michelle's homemade ice cream in Bronzeville, not very far from where I live, David. They met and they called the Chicago quarter zip link up. The organizers, Corey Phillips, along with Ian Alfonso, Langston Harris, Justin Vincent, and Kobe Lofton, plan to continue monthly meetups through an initiative called Biz Block Chicago, or Biz Block Shy. According to the Chicago Sun-Times, Phillips, a senior at North Central College who founded a financial literacy company, said, "It started as something kind of funny, but I think it's something positive. We see a lot of trends that promote a lot of negativity, like youth doing things that aren't productive. The terminology at the center of this movement requires clear explanation. YN stands for young nigga, a term young black males, particularly teenagers, and young adults about 20, 21, 22 use to self-identify. The movement represents these young men transitioning from YN to what they are calling YG, young gentlemen. They're kind of taking over from YG, meaning young gangster, to young gentleman. Major brands have taken notice. Nike, which built significant market share with its tech suits in black communities, has begun promoting its own quarter zip apparel. According to fashion industry analysts, quarter zip sweaters, which normally retail from about $25 on Amazon to over $200 for premium blends from premium brands, they have seen a 40% increase in sales among young black men consumers in the past 2 months. The response has sharply divided. Supporters see it as young black men taking control of their image and projecting professionalism. Critics have labeled it respectability politics and conformity to white corporate culture. Christina Steed, an adjunct professor at DePaul University's College of Communications, who specializes in multicultural marketing, told the Chicago Sun-Times, fashion, especially for Black men, has always carried meaning beyond the surface. It's a conversation with society about who they are and how they want to be seen. Marquand Jones, president of the Chicago Fashion Coalition, views the trend as a continuation of Black fashion movements, telling reporters that Black Americans have always had diverse styles expressions. Social media reactions have been particularly intense. TikTok user May Haley Shea posted a video saying, "I'm actually so proud of them. I never thought the day would come that they could ever earn any respect back. Still not a fan of them, but I hope more movements like this happen. Damn, tell us how you really feel." Meanwhile, others have criticized the movement. TikTok creator Antonio Speaks called it anti-Black. They called it anti-Black and a way of wanting to shame Black culture and put white culture on a pedestal. T-Pain, y'all know T-Pain, I'm in love with a stripper T-Pain, joined the trend on social media, posting himself in a quarter zip with the caption 401ks and quarter zips, garnering over 300,000 likes. Economic factors may be at play. Coffee prices have surged 41% year over year through September, while matcha, though facing potential shortages, has become associated with wellness and culture and higher socioeconomic status and has seen a boom in sales. That's the news. Now, let's talk about it. Before I get into any questions, David and everybody, but David, you know, since it's newer for you, are there any questions to the news of this story?
Yeah, I have a question. So is this, it's really around like geography and demographics, well, not demographics, but like, is this seen primarily as an urban trend, or is it kind of across the board? Is it an East Coast, West Coast, Midwest thing?
It started in New York, and it's like I said, the mayor just showed up to a meetup for the quarter zip movement. Who also is a Black man. So in Chicago is huge. It's like a big thing here. Okay. It has become a national movement, but more of a niche movement for around 16 to like 23-year-olds, and other conversations are kind of being sparked about it. And the larger conversation that I was having, that I kind of was wrestling with myself with, was around this whole white thing, right? Like what's white and what's not, and all that stuff. You've seen a little bit of creeping in from other cultures, specifically Mexican. They haven't fully got in there, but you know, like if you Mexican and your Black homie is doing it, then you probably like, you know, whatever, right? So that is where it's at. That's why you have university professors chiming in on it. I also think this whole market cap, like Black boys really changing landscape for, I mean, Nike is the biggest fashion house in the world, like bigger than Louis Vuitton. Big, like I have Nike tech suits. They're very expensive. So I see them saying, well, we just gonna make some expensive ass quarter zips for y'all boys too. But or Starbucks having the boom in matcha, even though there's a shortage. So there's a lot of implications.
Yeah, I don't have any other questions.
No more questions. Yeah. Jubilee, this was something that you brought up, and it was something that caught your eye and your attention. Also, before we go, I'm sorry, it was some breaking news. Kentucky State University just had a campus shooter. The shooter has been apprehended. For those that don't know, I used to live in Kentucky. Kentucky State University is a HBCU, so historically Black college with about 2,200 students. Do not have more details at the moment, but my phone's been going a little crazy. But I was getting ready for this. But Jubilee, you can comment on that if you need to. That's a large bomb to drop without, you know, and then just moving on. But after you do that, if you so choose, would love to, you know, get your essence around why this was a topic that you really wanted to like go in on.
Yeah. So one, you know, my heart goes out to anyone impacted by that shooting. That's absolutely terrible. And in terms of this quarter zip movement, first of all, I love it because I'm looking at the bigger picture. I know there's a bunch of nuances, but big picture, we Black people, we shape culture, we move culture, we shift culture. We get people to change what they offer, what they sell, what they care about, what they play, what they watch, where they go. Like, I want our people, and I want these young men to see that. Like, we can get into the quarter zip and Nike Tech or whatever, which I have, different thoughts around, especially raising two young Black
Well,
kings.
no, and jump into it if you want to, because I'm gonna pull up the video so people can kind of see the guy
Okay.
talking about it. Because Bill just asked what a quarter zip is, so I'll show him. But go ahead.
But that's why I'm smiling right now, because to think, a single post not only just becomes viral in terms of people just watching the content, but in terms of people doing it. It's like, if our young men can understand, like, if you have the power to do that, what else can you do on the positive side? And I think that's a really big deal. And I want our people to understand, like, we don't have to be the largest, consumers, right? We can also be on the other side, creating ideas and businesses and doing all sorts of stuff that shifts the market, that also creates wealth. So, and the last thing I'll say, just a quick note. So the gentleman, I was doing a little reading, the gentleman that started, his name is John. I'm not sure what his last name is, but I bumped into another post where somebody was like gently, mildly encouraging him to take ownership for what he has created, right? And so he's like, I'm not going to accept no hate on nobody. This is for all of us. Two twins came and kind of swooped in and started, doing it. So like you said, Charles, it's a movement. I would love for the big picture to be like, look what we did. Look what we brought to the forefront. And if we could do this, what else can we do? So what's that? Initial thoughts.
Got you. I saw it from a different kid. I saw it from Jason. The kid from the Bronx. I don't know who necessarily.
I could be wrong. But
yeah, but
Jason, whoever it is, that's the guy.
And when you go to his page, you'll see like Wendy's made the quarter sip drink. McDonald's has gotten in on it. Like, all these corporate people and partners have kind of gotten in there, and it's kind of taken on this different life, which invites different types of criticism, right? And so, it's been very interesting. But just from what you've heard, David, I also just need you. I'm just trying to get the video up, just based off what you're hearing, and I mean, when we talked about this, Jude was like, I wonder what educators or leaders might think of this. So from that perspective, if you were leading a school or your son's in high school, what does that mean? Might mean something different for you as a parent. You know what I'm saying? That worked with urban boys for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I think what this is making me think about is and we've talked about it on the show before. We've talked about code switching. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing this as a form of code switching where I mean, I've been on one end of it. I've been on both ends of it. But I think when I went into I spent like 6 years in like hardcore, like corporate tech culture before I went into education. And part of that was like, okay, you're going to be doing X, Y, and Z at your regular assignment, your job. And then we're going to have meetings with, high level, like corporate people. I've clearly have like brown skin. Most of the people I work with were white. And I learned pretty quickly that you have to like, there are certain times where you have to dress to the occasion or dress to the goal. And I learned that very quickly in that time. So I had like multiple sets of like clothes any given day. I might be wearing, flip-flops and shorts and a baseball hat and, maybe not even a shirt, and then there were other times where I was like, business casual or like, even higher end, like, super like nice, like formal dress. As somebody who then went into education, it was very interesting because when I was a principal, I could tell the way that kids responded to me, the way that staff responded to me. Like, it's hard maintaining, a wardrobe of a certain caliber because I don't have anybody to iron for me. I got to iron my own stuff. And there would be times where I get tired and like, okay, I'm just going to wear a sweater today, or I'm going to wear a polo, or I'm going to wear the school shirt. Right. But the days when I wore a button-down collared shirt with a tie and slacks and shoes that were shined to the T, because I really believe, like, if you're going to wear dress shoes, they got to be shiny.
Absolutely.
You know, people perceive you differently. You know, it's that's it. Adults, kids, parents, everything. It's like, oh, this guy, like, he's the principal. Look at him. I mean, you know, and other times, you know, I didn't get treated like that. So I learned that, you know, and this is just like how the world perceives you.
And I'm gonna bring.
And I think
I got the video.
I think as people of color, as a man of color, like, that's a very important lesson to learn. You know?
Right, but you know, but
so,
do you feel like you're acting white when you do that, David? Like, do you feel like it's all white?
White, there it goes.
I mean, we've only, you know, I mean, I don't even know what that means.
It's okay to say that's bullshit, David. It's okay to be like
bullshit, dude. I mean, as human beings, like, we've only been wearing clothes for, you know, how long? Only like 1,000 or 2,000. You know, we used to be naked, all of us, right?
And then you had the togas, you know, and in Greece, you know what I'm saying?
We used to be naked is hilarious.
Clothes are still relatively a new thing, so for us, it is as a species.
It has me also thinking, like, I don't know the intent of this young man that started it, but like,
I'm gonna show you the video. I'm gonna show you.
Yes, I know he explained it or whatever, but I'm talking about, like, one, I don't know if he imagined that it would go this far. Two, was it a style thing, right? Because we, as educated in the education world, and you guys are a part of that, we've seen this shift. Like, you go back to COVID and you're like, yo, all these kids is wearing all black and hoodies, even when it's 9,400 degrees outside, they still wear hoodies. Like, what's up with that? So
it's a style thing.
Oh, it started.
I'm about to make you feel old. I got you. Don't trip.
Lord.
And your son can help you with this too. Nike Tech. I can afford Nike Tech. I'm a grown man with job, right? But Nike Tech is like expensive. I'll grab one before the show is over, right? But like I got a gray one, I got a black one, right? And then they would do that with the Shiesties, and it's just like a status symbol. One, because it's expensive. Two, it kind of gives off this don't fuck with me kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm, you know, whatever. And so then you got this dude. But before I show the video, just to piggyback on what David said, as a black man, I remember, you know, playing basketball, you had to wear a tie on game day, right? So we all looked frumpy with these ties. Like, we just would throw on a tie with a collar shirt. You couldn't play if you didn't do it. You could either do that, and sometimes you can get away with wearing the warm-up, right? But they want, especially when there's an away game, they want you to show up in ties and stuff. So I was like, whatever. It was annoying, but you do it. But then a mentor, a little older, you know what I'm saying, took me to a Men's Warehouse. Excuse me. He got my measurements, and then he got me stuff that fit, so I wasn't just wearing my dad's shirt, you know what I'm saying, with a tie. He showed me what a fitted suit looks like. He taught me how to stand up straight, and then I did feel different. I felt way different. Like, I felt like, huh?
Did you feel? I
didn't feel white. I felt empowered. I felt important. I felt like you walking around with your, you know, it don't get, when you discover cufflinks and things like that, you just feel, you know, Deion Sanders said, you look good, you play good, you get paid good. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. But let's just see what the young man had to say. This may or may not be the founder of it, but it's good enough to give some context. Yeah. His name is Jason, but I got you. I don't know what.
Okay. I was calling the man John. Sorry, Jason.
Got you.
I should have worn my. I got a couple of quarter zips. I should have worn mine.
Well, give me a thumbs up when I start playing it, if you can hear it.
Okay.
Now, simple. I don't do that Nike type stuff, what y'all little boys do. I can't do that. I'm elegant. I'm classy. For me, like, you could take me somewhere. I look presentable. Y'all Nike Tech dudes scare me. Y'all put actual fear in my heart. Like, after God, I fear y'all Nike Tech dudes, truthfully. Like, I don't know how y'all do it. This is elegant. You see what I'm saying? Like, get you a quarters and forget the Nike Tech, forget the Lululemon. You don't even got to do aloe. Aloe expensive. This is like 15 cash, and I feel classy. And y'all know I hit the gym, so my muscles is showing. Like, everything's perfect about this. So let's steer away from the Nike Techs. Let's be different. Get you a quarter zip. Like, it's truly grown man attire. Like, certain people can't rock this the way I rock this. Like, y'all Nike Tech dudes scare me. Yes, I was wearing a Nike Tech the other day, but that don't matter. That's neither here nor there. This right here, for me, But my bro said, like, I'm a classic man. I mean, you could be me when you look this clean. Simple as that. I ain't gonna front. I'm feeling a little performative today. I might even get a matcha, like, and I don't even like that grass stuff, but I feel classy, man.
So there you have it. There's the young man, and it has since blown up. Again, Nike, Nike, McDonald's, Starbucks, Wendy's, like people across the country. Mayor Brandon Johnson in Chicago, the Chicago Sun-Times, universities. Like, it's a phenomenon. And the real interesting thing for me, now, me and my old black male studies ass are like what that wants to study this stuff. The nerd in me cares about these economic factors that's coming into play. We having more of a social conversation, but I just think, I could tell he's being playful. He's a young college dude that makes college content, supposed to be cocky at that age or whatever the case is. And I'm also a black man like this. I'm wearing my clothes. I'm wearing my shirt, the things that I have. Like, when you look at the research, we kind of have always been these fashion forward type of people and things like that. So, the criticisms have been though around it's devolved. The more, how it goes. At first, it's very pure. Everybody's kind of in it. Everybody's showing kudos. Then you start seeing that 1 million, 2 million views. Then you got to get the counter thinking people that can get on that train and make money in other ways. So a lot of people calling him a square. A lot of people calling him, saying he hates his blackness. Like, this is white. He's teaching people how to, be like a white person. This is respectability and things like that. And it's an interesting talk that I knew I would struggle through today. So, I'm gonna do a little bit more listening, but that's just really what I'm thinking though, man, because, Julie, I do want to hear from you because you are the mother of 2 black males that are in this age range. That's the age where young boys start calling themselves YNs. I don't know how many parents is on board with that.
I said, you call yourself YN? He said, no.
Of course, you ain't gonna say, yeah, mom, I call myself a young nigga when I'm outside away from you.
Of course. He's not gonna admit to that. We know.
So
go ahead, finish.
No, that's it. I was just gonna ask you. I was just adding a caveat since you're a mom and that terminology for one, but 2, just how you feeling about this movement. And I know that the desire to do this episode, you was thinking about your sons, you was thinking about your boys, you was thinking about, damn, there's finally something positive out there that I'm okay with them hopping on this train of. So I'm curious, Mom.
I absolutely, I love it. I love it also because, I guess he did kind of talk down on the Nike Tech a little bit, but he was talking, you scare me. Like, I think that's valid. Like, yes, if I'm walking at a certain place and you have your face covered, and you got on, and not even that it's Nike Tech, but you have your face covered, right?
All black.
You are, and all black. Yeah, I'll be scared too. Like, and if it's nighttime, dark, it wouldn't actually matter what color your skin is. But like, yes, I would be concerned. And I do that now in the daylight with a woman that's walking with 6-inch heels and a dress on. If you walking too close behind me and you look suspicious to me, I'm not going to feel comfortable. So I'm not mad at that. But why this movement excites me is because it presents another option. And that's what I'm all about. That's what I'm all about. For being able to know that there is another way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that you can push back against whatever has become the status quo. We've been doing this for a really, really long time, right? Remember, back when I was growing up, it was baggy jeans. You go outside of some skinny jeans, somebody's going to chase you down and whoop you at the bus stop because, like, what are you doing? Like, you were automatically called gay. You automatically called all sorts of stuff because you had on jeans that were too tight. And now what do we wear? We wear tight jeans, men and women.
Now it's going back. Now it's back
to back. It's going back. No,
I don't think it's going.
It's going back.
Yes, it's going back to, I think, straight legs, but I have not seen.
No, it's going back to baggy. It is going back to baggy. I was just at an all men's conference. I was at the Black Male Educator Conference. Convening. I'm sorry, not conference.
All I'm saying is,
I'm telling you, mixed. Baggy is back. Ask your son right there. Is he right there? Ask him if baggy is back.
He said Doc doesn't know what he's talking about. That's what he said. Just now.
I'm telling you, baggy is. I'm telling you.
No, but listen, what I'm saying is, I haven't seen now judgment against that. What I'm saying is, growing up in the 90s, you could not wear skinny jeans. Now it's normalized. Yes, you're gonna have some people that's gonna wear baggy jeans or whatever, but you might still have some people that's gonna wear those.
Yeah, you can wear more things now.
You can wear more things. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's necessarily one or the other. And all I'm saying is I appreciate this movement, right? Not because I don't think it demonizes Nike Techs, but I think it puts another option out there. There's another way. You can wear something else to school, to the park, to hang out with your friends, to the mall. Out, you can wear something else besides Nike Tech, a hoodie, and you don't have to walk around with your face covered like you finna go do an armed robbery. Like there's another way. There's something else. That is what initially, excites me about it. In terms of what I tell my sons, it's always time and place. My oldest son, my mother told him off because they were going to homecoming, and she was asking him, "What do you want to wear?" Like, I don't know. I didn't really plan on dressing up. And she was like, "What are you talking about? What? It's homecoming. You got to dress up." Took this boy to the store to get him a suit and everything. Of course, got his measurements, and he did exactly what you did, Charles. Oh snap! Start spinning around in the store. Oh, I got a suit. Oh, this look good on me, right? So I get that.
Felt his superpowers kick in.
It's another option. It's time and place. You're not gonna go to homecoming in a Nike Tech and a Shiesties. You're gonna put on a nice suit and be on have your young lady on the arm, the girlfriend that you ain't supposed to have on your arm. All right, comes on.
Hilarious.
Cut that last part. Yeah.
Well, let me get to the actual question. So when adults talk to young black men or males or boys about how they dress, well, what messages are they actually being sent like around this stuff? I'm curious.
I was laughing at Nikki's.
I'll pull it up on the screen.
I think that's a trick question. I think that's a trick question. Put it up. When adults talk to young black men, so like random adults on the street, white adults talking to young black men.
It's definitely open, so you gotta take it where you want to take it.
I mean, I think there's different answers to this question depending on what the are they like in a mentoring position, or are they just like giving unsolicited advice? Because I think that's not okay.
Answer from both.
Okay, so so what messages are actually I think, man, that's a crazy question.
It's tough.
I don't want to so I'll just say what's on my mind. I think when adults talk to young people, put the question up again.
Oh, it went away. I got you. They got the thing now where you can put the timer on the banners. So the banners have timers now. Yeah. I will. Okay.
So adults talking to like young black men about how they dress. So I think there's a couple things there probably at play. I think there's probably some good intentions of like, I'm telling you how you should dress because there's something that's like, there's a real like perception issue, not to say anything about your character or how you move in the world or the kind of person that you are, but people are going to perceive you to be, they're going to put you in a box depending on like how you look, how you dress, period. And that's just like, take it or leave it, whatever. I think there's another argument that can be made that, perception is perception. We can't, it's not our responsibility to, assist people to perceive us in any kind of way. Like we are who we are. Young black men are who they are, and they should be free to dress and express themselves however they wish, right? So I think it's kind of an and/or, but I do think in the middle there is a lesson here. It's almost like I'm West Coast. We don't really do this out here, but in the South, you've got like this culture of like the cotillion culture, right? They send these kids to like classes and manners, and you got to know XYZ, 5 different kinds of knives and this, that, there's this whole like culture of like formalities and process and all of that. And some of it comes from weird places, but I think it's kind of the same thing. It's like, there are certain times, my dad used to always say this to me, always, there's a time and a place for everything. Absolutely. And so I think you apply that to like, how you dress. There's a time and a place to dress like this. and there's a time and a place to dress like this, right? So that's my short answer without getting triggered.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Let your trigger fly. I think
but I mean, I think there's also a world where you know, people, and it's not just solely around like race, because it can be like a black adult telling a young black man, a brown adult telling a young brown man not to dress that way because they've internalized racism, right? And that's pretty fucked up. You know,
right.
it's like what?
And when I posted the Substack I wrote on this, right? And I wrote about, you know, these things. There are certain stereotypes that go with being a young black man. And I know this as being a young black man. And I've known it for a very long time. And even don't matter how much of a square I was or grades or whatever, they see what they see. Even now, like you get on the train, like she don't know that I got a bunch of degrees or drive a decent car and make decent bread. These old white ladies still be clutching their purses like I'm about to snap stuff, you know. And or like even when the Central Park 5 happened, now the exonerated 5, you know, people wanted to execute those boys. Donald Trump took out 4 ads to call them for the execution of kids. They were children.
Crazy.
But you know who else did? You know who else had put smut on their name? Bell Hooks, the famed black feminist scholar, you know, had a lot of things to say and you know, put those boys. What she actually said, let me see, I will find it for you, because she said the sexist, misogynistic, patriarchal ways of thinking and behaving that are glorified in gangster rap are a reflection of the prevailing values in our society, values created and sustained by white supremacist, capitalist patriarchy. And she also further basically like convicted these boys of this crime that they didn't do. And I do not have on record of her apologizing when it came out that they did not, but she has passed on. So you know, I don't hold anybody's moments against who they are as a full person. I have a lot of respect and love for Bell Hooks, but what I'm saying is that Bell Hooks would have saw my black ass as well in some of those moments, and it would have been crazy for me. It would have been wow. And and Trump and Bell Hooks are names that get attention, but the country was thinking this. And then you got to understand what happened after with super predators, and you got to understand what happened with like laws and 3 strikes and things that got passed, all because of this black male boogeyman shit, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's a tough topic because this is just the top, and there's so much that I study where I got to go in and like make a fun topic be very not fun. Like there's a lot of things that's implicated or indicated there. I wear what I want to wear, and I also know how to do it in a bunch of different ways, but I'm also in a position where I know how to make a statement. If let's say I show up to one of these fancy ad things, you know, where everybody's snooty or whatever and everybody dressed up, I might go in something like what I got on right now, because I'm here because I care about education, but I ain't really buying none of y'all. Like what I want young brothers to know, not just black, but in general, like you have to create yourself and you have to learn how to love yourself. I wrote this in there, and you know, Jubilee is good for this, and I think she's great, and Sharif is great at this. When you all look at what society should be, society should love you unconditionally. It should see you as a young person. It should see you as a youth. I promise you the world don't see your little boy that's in front of you as a little boy. They see him as a grown fucking man. When I got pulled over one of the first times, I think my first year at Cal State Hayward, the police put a fucking gun to the back of my head and said that I was somebody that was a suspect. See, now my camera done got hot, but it's okay. I'm gonna keep cooking. I'll change it over.
We hear you.
I got you. I can change it over in a second. But that's all I'm saying, man, is like you got to understand how to kind of build yourself, how the world's gonna see you. But the best way to do that is to build these kids to love themselves. You got to know who you are, even when things get controversial or weird. That's all.
Yeah.
Agreed. I agree wholeheartedly with what you just said. It really is about, like you said, loving yourself, understanding yourself. I mean, that's something that share with my kids, and the kids that I've taught, the kids that I've led, right? Like, you were born brilliant, you were born beautiful, right? Unfortunately, we live in a world where that is not what people see first, right? And unfortunately, we live in a world built on racism, right? So it's like there's certain things they just can't get past. And so I think, you know, it behooves us to share understanding and to share wisdom with our children, with our students, to let them understand people's perception is their reality. And that's the truth. And I don't care what nobody say. It could be now, 10 years from now, 20 years. Like, people's perception is their reality, right? And you're not responsible for trying to change neither of those things, right? But I think it is important for us to ensure that our children are aware of those things, that our young men are aware of those things. And then you get to choose whether or not you want to conform or you want to resist, because that also is a choice, right? Do you want to conform? Like, maybe everybody's not brave. They're like, hey, look, I know when I'm going in here, I know I don't feel like wearing this tie or this suit or whatever it is. I don't feel like doing it, but I'm gonna put it on. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want nobody looking at me crazy, so I'm putting it on. That's your choice. And then you might have another young man that's like, man, forget that. I'm showing up dressed just like this, and watch, I'm gonna still get the job. Watch, I'm gonna still get the interview. Watch, I'm gonna still get the sponsor. But the point is, do you have the information so that you know that you have a choice?
Yeah.
Do you know what the impact will be, could be, of either choice that you make? And lastly, back to Charles's point, do you know your worth? Do you know your value? And do you know that neither of them are contingent upon your clothing? It's just that we live in an effed up world that thinks it is. And if you go to other places in the world, nobody even gives a damn about what you're wearing per se, right? Like, your dress, your wardrobe is more cultural, right? It's about expression. If we're having this kind of ceremony, you should wear this. If we're doing this on a Saturday, going to the market, this is what you wear. But it's not about necessarily about a status thing everywhere else. But in our capitalist, racist society, that's what it is. So.
Can I add? I think, and I agree with you. I do want to add some caveats, though, right? Like, because like David said, there's a time and place for everything. If I go to the hospital, you need to be in some damn scrubs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's you got to wear the thing that you got to wear, right? And I remember being a social worker, and I would be very casual, but like, you know, I had a supervisor, or it was an OG. It was an OG on our team that was just kind of like, you don't dress bad, right? But like, why don't you show up like this? And he was basically like, you're a very young social worker. You get mistaken for some of the foster kids sometimes. You're a professional.
Yeah.
Show up like a professional. And absolutely. I don't think that those people, and you know, I take that, you know, I might have had something to say in a moment, but then I thought about it like, oh, there's somebody that's an elder, that's also Black, that's like, let me help you out. Like, you don't have to make things difficult. And she wasn't saying I was defined by what I had on, but just like, yo, it does. You might get taken a little bit more seriously with that on, right? Like, some things require that. Like, if you serve, you can't have all kind of shit on you. You know, they make you clean it up.
Yes.
It is.
Oh,
they make you clean it up.
He just made me think of a video of a gentleman. He was like showing like his life, like daytime, nighttime. He worked at a bank. It was one of those funny videos, but he had on, let's say he worked at Chase, Truist, I don't know. So he had on his uniform, and then as soon as he's speaking like, yes, sir, he's doing all the things, and he gets out the door, and he's like, hey, yo, my nigga, like, and he changes into a Pooh Shiesty and like a Nike Tech or whatever to show. So again, I'm not saying when he was on the phone asking people if they had the weed or whatever, that I'm, you know, saying to live that kind of lifestyle or whatever. The point is, that's clearly a dude that knows the difference.
Right. Well, welcome back, David. I know you have to run real quick, but one of the things that I wrote about and that I talked about, one of the things that bothers me about it is all this other stuff is the veneer. All this other stuff is the fun conversation, the clothes. The thing I think we're running from, and not us as here, but I'm talking about in society, is why is all these young men calling themselves young niggas to begin with, and why are we like just allowing that? Like, this YN gets said in front of teachers. Like, YN is a term that some teachers have used. Like, just how you're thinking about. And again, I've been young before. There's ways I've identified before, or whatever the case is. You're young. It's
become so normalized. It's like it's normalized in the brown community. It's normalized in the white community, in the Asian community. I'm like, you know,
it's crazy. And it
Yeah.
has a connotation. It's not just saying it.
Mhm.
It's saying like, if you a YN, basically people like, man, I'm looking out for these YNs. It's usually associated with young cats that will rob you, young cats that will shoot the place up, young thugs, young, you know, in that type of way. And you talk about normalizing. When I was a kid, something else got normalized, and I remember being on the front end of it because teachers used to fight it. You want to know what it is that we all say now? That sucks. You used to get almost expelled from school from saying that in front of an adult in Kentucky. You know why?
Oh, in Kentucky.
Something sucks dick. Like it's
Yeah.
like that's what it sucks means. Like,
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I remember
you know what? That really sucks.
You used to get suspended for this when I was like in the first grade, second grade. They would stop class and call your parent and say such and such. I'm sorry, Miss Johnson. Such and such just said I suck, and that means blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Kids was getting their ass beat for the first few weeks of school that year. Like,
yeah.
Now people just say it like you could. They say it on the Disney Channel. I don't want YN.
They're getting their ass beat, and they're like, "This really blows."
Which is no better.
I don't want YN to become the new sucks. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. Yeah. And I got too many friends that got black kids, that got black boys. You know what I'm saying? And especially my female friends, my lady friends, because with the black dad in the conversation, it's a little different. It's a little different. They can go on a walk and have a different kind of conversation. But like the moms that I know, Jubilee included, like, especially the ones that's kind of doing it on their own, they're so afraid for their kids. They're so afraid for their boys. They're trying everything that they can. You know, they try to do the thing where I'm overly nice to kind of be the friend. They try to do the thing where I got to be overly tough, where I got to do this. And I just feel like this movement, without context and without somebody having conversations, like there's a lot of, I don't know what it would be like to be a black mom that's trying to navigate this stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because it just seems like so many people fall in.
Listen, I always say it's like, you know, your children, they're in the garden, and every day you got to pull up the weeds. You know, you got to hold the line in your household. At least that's me. Like through prayer, through conversation, try to listen, try to learn, but also hold the line, because you're not finna infiltrate my household. Like, I don't give a shit what you're doing out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, in this household, you are my beloved son. You are young, you are black, you are beautiful, you are brilliant, right? You are all these things. And I'm gonna flood that, you know, into you so that you believe it and know it. And then when you have to face the world outside without me, when I'm not in your ear, that I'll still be in your ear, you know? Right. So it's not easy, because I just feel like young black men, I'm not trying to come for anybody who has girls, because that girls got their own thing, but raising young black men is a thing. Like it's almost like there are so many other things that's targeted towards taking them down. And as a mom, you know, I have to be putting up the fences and shooting back and all sorts of stuff, both spiritually and naturally, to make sure that they can make it through, be safe and thrive in this world that's really designed to, you know, to take them down. So,
and David, I want you to jump in, but I also want to remind us, like you touched on, remember a few months ago now, we did the show. Remember the black boy that like was in the car about to break down crying? Like we were talking about the college thing, why black boys aren't going to college. And they talked about how people saw them, how people felt them, what the messaging he got. Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu calls it the fourth grade. I love Jawanza, man. He just passed away. I think
did he pass away?
He passed away a few months ago. We were in conversation. We were going to do a church tour in Chicago. We were in those talks. We were like, we kind of started like having some conversations. We didn't get anything on paper, but we were close. But in his book, Countering the Conspiracy, you know, to Destroy Black Boys, he has it's called the fourth grade rule or something like that. But basically, he describes the fourth grade as the moment where black boys go from being joyous, energetic, rambunctious little boys to starting to realize that the world just don't really fuck with them. And they start to retreat into themselves. He did a whole research thing on it. I'll find the exact quote. It's in my in the article that I posted. But
we should definitely do it. We should do a show on that.
Yeah,
that's powerful, man. Because I think it's something that people, I mean, we're talking about like clothing and perception, but you know, the bigger picture is just, you know, regardless of what kind of clothes you have on, like what this research says is very real. And it's crazy, man, that like the whole like reality gets warped and skewed by the way that people engage and treat you depending on the color of your skin. And that is like it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? It's like conscious, it's subconscious, it's you know, it's direct, it's indirect, it's all those things. And yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
It's
Yeah.
a whole, like it's really like a whole thing, man. I'm gonna find the exact quote. We don't have our boy Omar here. I want to say this for the record though, while everybody's listening, because
hold on real quick. Let's all be clear. Yes, you are right, Bill. Children are not the enemy.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
They are not. And shout out to my daddy. Daddy Ransom's in the chat too. Hi, Daddy.
What's up, Mr. Ransom? What's going on, brother?
He was reiterating. That sucks. So, like,
he would be a good person to have those boys talk to, is all I'm saying.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But no, I was saying for our friend, you know, Omar, we need one of his rants. I told Omar to do a rant. I will edit it. I will brand it. I will do all that stuff. I think that it could be bigger than the show. Like, I think if he actually started doing it and did it consistently, I think he could be huge and get his own sponsorship, and he ain't got to worry about Monster. That's all I wanted to say. Me and him have to have our Monster battle even when he's not here. And I found it for you, David. Here is the actual quote. It said, Dr. Kunjufu, Jawanza Kunjufu, what he said was, we just lost him. He was 71, man. But the conspiracy against our black males is fundamentally rooted in the need of a white minority to control the world's far greater population of black people and people of color. He identified the fourth grade failure syndrome, that critical point when young black boys' natural curiosity starts to die. Why? Because they start to understand how the world sees them. They internalize that they're seen as problems and not people. Our children don't need charity, they need investment, he said. Not charity, investment.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. They need empathy, not sympathy.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely, man. And so, you know, like, this conversation is such a big one. I think you can start getting into Latino boys. I think you can start getting into Southeast Asian boys. I think there's a lot of messages that boys get, and girl, like you said, and girls too, and we should definitely cover those. And even I quote Dr. Monique Morris, who wrote the big book on black girls, on Pushed Out, right? But even in her book and her research, what she's very, very clear on is that you can't save our girls without saving our boys. So like they come together, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they come together. But I think it's been a good show. It's a tough show because it's so much it's just so much shit you gotta leave on the floor, on the cutting room floor. Not to cross promote. My episode on this comes out Thursday, where I script that out. I kind of go through it so I can get more of these finer points. If you want to watch it, you can find it in the same place. But I'll do a better job of promoting. I suck at promoting. See, there goes that other word. I YN at promoting.
Wow.
No, it's terrible. I know it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. But nah, man, YN cannot be the new suck. And I wanna, you know, Nikki was talking about they used to refer to their boyfriends as that. For one, that still happens. But two, the connotation even in that is a little bit different. When you say YN, you are referring not to black people. You are referring to a specific type of young black man that you should fear and be afraid of. And you do learn early on that you want people. Listen, when I was a kid, man, let me just share a black male experience. I've always been a kind, smiley kid. I learned early on I can't just be smiling at people. When I see other boys, I have to be ready to kind of look them up and down. I got to shape them up because they shaping me up. You got to be ready to fight. Like, there's a lot of things you internalize and are taught as boys, and that's a cross race. That's across, you know, certain things. So as an adult, what do I do now? Hey, man, I smile as much as I can. And I think that it's powerful when people that respect me, there's a lot of young people that I work with, a lot of young black people, and they see me being myself, but they see me smiling. They'll see me having joy. They'll see me, if I'm afraid of something, to be able to say that. You can feel trapped in your body if you growing up in an urban setting as a male, and people don't fuck this loneliness epidemic. Fuck that. Let's talk about the one where your masculinity is always on the line, and that's why you got to be willing to die for dumb shit. It's stupid. And so, but there's a larger conversation because masculinity is important, and I think it needs to be deconstructed, but deconstructed better and in a more mature way. But we can go ahead and start to close out. David, any last thoughts? You can go wherever you want and just wrap your final thought up in there, brother.
Yeah, I think great topic. I've done a little bit of research now, and I mean, I think, I follow like social media. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. That's it. But this topic, I'd never heard of this before. So it proves to me that social media is like massive, and there's stuff happening that I'm not even like tuned into. Right. That's number one. Number two, I think this generation of young people spend way too much money on clothes either way. Right. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Whether it's a Nike Tech or a quarter zip. I mean, the quarter zip like that. I kind of like, I get that because I have like a Nordstrom Rack kind of vibe and feel from it. So
yeah,
I think it's easier on the
pocket. It's versatile.
Exactly. Yeah. And so who was it? Obama that said, he had this system of like organizing his clothes. He wore the same thing every day. It was just easier. He didn't have to think about it, right?
Steve Jobs
Monday clothes. Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on. Anyhow, with all that being said, I think one of the interesting things was one of the positives is to see, the demographic of young Black men and what they're putting out into the universe via social media and how these things trend and then get large global corporations to respond to these trends, right? I think that's powerful. Talking about Nike, I mean, that's very interesting to me. And then I think the other piece is just, perception is very powerful, whether you like it or not. And you can, I do think it needs to be an intentional choice of like, okay, I'm going to do this in these contexts, and in these contexts, I'm not. And it's intentional. It's a choice that I'm making, and I can still have my self-expression versus going into the world totally uninformed and unclear and confused as to why you're not getting opportunities, right? Mm-hmm. Blame it on whatever you want to blame it on. I think I'll end on this. I was out today before I came on the show. I was out for a walk, and I wore a 30-pound weighted vest. It's like a big black. When I'm out walking with my vest on, I look like I could be an ICE agent, right?
Yeah, it looks like a bulletproof vest, almost like a uniform.
And I saw like two different like sets of landscaping crews out there, and they look at me like 2 or 3 times. They're like, okay, here now it's our time. Get your cameras out. Oh, and I'm just like, I stop by and say hi to them, talk to them in Spanish, and like, todo bien. I live here.
That's what an ICE agent would do, David.
Right. So even for the Latino landscapers, dude, I know exactly. Yeah.
Look, I have to like demonstrate. Like, Latinos do them jobs.
But like earlier this morning, I'm out in my yard on the street, doing some landscaping of my own because I own this home, and every now and again I'm outside and people walk up to me and they're like, "Do you have a card?" I'm like, "A card for what?"
Yeah,
like, I don't even have a business card. Like, what kind of services are you hoping to get from me? Because if it's landscaping, it ain't gonna happen.
He's like, I don't do landscaping for a living, and 2, I probably ain't that good at it. But
I'm not. Actually, I am good at it, but this has got me thinking.
I'm not good at it at all.
Right. So, this depends on like whatever you put on in your outer shell. You go out into the world, man, and you can have a totally different experience.
Right.
So, yeah, there you go.
I love it, man. Thank you for that, Jude. What about you? Anywhere you want to go and just top it off with your finishing thought?
For sure. Back to Bill's comment. He said, interesting how the white culture co-ops and makes money off of Black innovation and creativity. Same old. So like, that's kind of where my head is at with this. Like, I want our young men to begin with the end in mind, right? Like, you you have power and you have influence, right? And when it is culminated and galvanized, to your both of your points, like look what it can bring about. It can cause these big old corporations with these billions of dollars to come knocking on your door to see how they can, get a piece of that pie or whatever. And so I think that alone is really important. That is a conversation I wish I could have with these young men that are doing this, because this is an opportunity to really try to shift the power dynamic. So that's one. In terms of the perception thing, like again, time and place and appropriateness, right? Like just understanding, right? Know how to show up wherever you got to show up. Know how you show up, and if you begin how you should be showing up, and if you begin with the end in mind and know what you as the young Black man want to get out of the experience, then you'll tailor your wardrobe and everything else to that experience. And I think they have to be in a place to be able to make the choice. I'm saying, barring, where professional clothing is kind of, established for you, like you said earlier, like if you're a doctor, you need to show up in your, medical coat or scrubs or whatever the case may be. Barring those kinds of things, like you should understand the difference and be able to choose like what works best for you. And again, if you begin with the end in mind and you know what you want to get out of it, then you will align what you're wearing to that. And to know that none of that, right? Think of it, I would want them to think of it more as of a strategy than respectability politics, acting white, or any other any negative connotation connected to that. Versus, no, I know what I'm trying to get out of this conversation. I know what I'm trying to get out of this meeting or whatever it is. And so I'm aligning how I'm showing up to the outcome that I'm looking for. And I'm taking into consideration the fact that that perception could be a barrier. So I want to do what I can to remove that barrier. It is not our responsibility to try to control other people's perception, but if you're aware of it, then you have a choice in how you want to navigate that. And that's what I want them to know. You're brilliant. You were born that way, and you have a choice in how you show up.
Absolutely.
Well,
I would add on to that. I think the way that I went was just a larger issue of like what's Black and what's not. I just think that shit's just played out. I'm tired of these conversations where everything negative tends to be Black. So I'm late. That's just the Black in me, or I'm this, or I'm mean. I'm this. And it's like, nah, man, that's not. They don't stop letting that define culture. Stop letting all the negative stuff be defined as Black, while on the opposite side, everything that's right is white. Like Malcolm X talked about this. Malcolm X figured, like in jail, this is where he had his epiphany. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to know what Black is? This is in an article. Being thoughtful to your community is Black. Taking care of the elderly and the children in your community. Raising your family with love and discipline. Being creative, innovative, and resilient. Building businesses. Creating art. Making music that the whole world wants to copy. Turning style into strength. Turning struggle into strength. Maintaining joy despite oppression. Fighting for justice while still finding reasons to celebrate. That's Black culture. And I'm not mad if somebody says that's La Raza culture. I'm not mad if an Asian says that's Chinese culture. Like, that's Native American culture. Like, there are things in all of our communities that we have. Myth making is important. And for y'all that don't know what myth making is, it's the stories we tell ourselves that define who we are. So some of you might remember Steel Driving Man as a kid coming up, right? The Black dude who died, his heart exploded because he was beaten. He was working himself to death to beat the machine or whatever, right? Like understanding that stuff. And I just think that part of this is a response to that, and that's why they're getting stuff about, well, you're respectable, you trying to be white, you trying to be this. And listen, maybe some of those people are trying to be white. If that's the case, we need to have a deeper conversation there. But as a whole, being successful is not white. Like, I hate that notion. So with that, there's a paragraph that I just want to leave them with. My message to these young Black boys is simple, and I come from you. I am you. I still struggle with a lot of these things. I still have to unlearn certain things, but also there are parts of growing up as a Black youth the way that I did that do help me out a lot. It's a double-edged sword in a lot of different ways. And I love being Black. And I want the white boy to love being white. I want the Mexican boy to love being Mexican. We got to stop this shit, man. But I will say this, keep evolving. keep growing, keep exploring, try on different identities, try on different styles, different ways of being. That's your right. You've heard David in our show talk about being a DJ, being a b-boy, like dabbling in different parts of his life. You know what I'm saying? I remember there was a part of my life where I just learned about black cowboys and I was just upset. I didn't know the rich history of it. And I'm like, damn, that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to look at cowboy boots crazy, and then I put a pair on and I was like, oh shit, these don't look like they could be any kind of comfortable. I'm like, well, that's Mexican. They like, that ain't just Mexican. It's people all over the Southwest and the South, in the Southeast that like wear cowboy boots, man. Like it's a whole thing, not saying that not to take away from your people, David, but the point that I'm saying is you can try on different identities. You can try on different things. I'm sure Jubilee had moments where she had different styles and different versions of who she was, and then it changes. We are still evolving, and you get to evolve. Don't let another person dictate who you are and like who you can and can't be in this world. Too many people fought for you to be able to do what you want to do and do something with it. The revolution doesn't start with a sweater. It starts with love. Radical, unconditional love for these young black men, exactly as they are, while supporting them and becoming everything that they can be. So you are loved, you're valuable, you're necessary, and you're just getting started. Period. But we need you here. We need you alive. We need you not in jail, and we need you not going to jail for dumb shit because you're trying to prove yourself. I just read Wallow's book. It's called Armed with Good Intentions. He was a street dude. He now does Gilly and Wallow's podcast. It's a multi-million-dollar podcast, but he wrote a book talking about how he ended up in jail. And one of the most interesting parts of it was like, I was scared the entire time. The entire time I'm robbing people, the entire time I'm looking my grandmama in the face and saying, I'm not going back to jail. And she can't believe me. Like that shit hurt. And he said, it's not until I did this book that I could even say that. And so I'm just saying, learn from the mistakes and growth of other people.
That's right.
With that being said, young black boys, young brown boys, young black girls, all of y'all, our young people and our elders, we love you. So with that being said, for Omar, that's David, that's Jubilee, I am Charles. This has been another episode of the South Star Classroom. We'll see you all next week. Same bat time, same bat station. In the meantime, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Peace out.
Is my screen gonna